Always feared are the creatures that haunt our nightmares, yet we ever seek to understand them. So turn the pages and see what lurks in the Monster Manual.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Monster Manual. Today we're going to be looking at... What the hell?
Cease your pandering, Nordic.
What? Who's there? Show yourself!
Why do you look to the book yet again? The last time it got you killed. Why do you return to it now? Do you even know?
Well, I mean, I have to... I don't know.
Yet you feel compelled to seek it again, despite your ignorance. It is time you know why.
You. It's about time you showed your face again. I got back from my little vacation in hell. I wanted to make sure you got to go there yourself.
Stay your blade, Nordic. I'm not here to fight. You have already proven your tenacity by coming back from the dead. Your first test.
A test? Killing me was a test? A test for what? Who are you? What do you want?
I'm your ancestor, hailing from a long ago in the days when the Norse gods were alive and strong, and the Viking armies were the scourge of the West.
My ancestor? Why should I believe you? Luckily, I don't have to. If you go to Ancestry.com, you can trace back...
This isn't a brand deal.
Oh.
Nordic, I'm Fenrir, harbinger of destruction, and you are my heir.
Heir? Heir to what?
The mantle of chaos. Long ago, I sowed destruction across the world, but I have not the power I once had. I am old, Nordic. You, however, have potential. Potential to claim power beyond your imagination. Carry out your legacy of chaos. You'll need this.
That accursed thing? For what purpose?
Study its contents. Learn the nightmarish and powerful beasts that haunt this world. Learn their strengths and weaknesses, and then face them in combat. Slay them, and claim their souls, the very essence of power. With these souls, you will become greater than man, and possess the power of demons. Go forth, Nordic. Claim the power that is rightfully yours. Fulfill your fate. Starting with this.
Nightmares plague us all, scourges on our once peaceful rest. There are times we find ourselves facing horrors we never could have conceived with a lucid mind. But then, when we wake, the darkness is vanquished by the light of day, and our fears creep back into the deep recesses of our mind. For us, nightmares end when we wake. But in the world of Bloodborne, dreams are not so simple. They exist like parallel dimensions, every bit as real as the waking world. Which means the horrors that lurk within, too, are tangible and threatening. Enter Amygdala, a mysterious, godlike entity known as a Great One that resides in the Nightmare Frontier. The Great Ones in Bloodborne hold incredible power, many finding dreams and becoming their patron, twisting them into nightmares. However, they are not merely monsters to the residents of Yharnam, who seek not to slay them or hide from them, but to earn audience with the Great Ones, and eventually ascend to their status. Throughout the great cathedral in Yharnam, statues reminiscent of Amygdala flank the path, and down below in Yahar'gul, the unseen village, a great, incredibly accurate and detailed statue of Amygdala looms above the chapel. Not only do the citizens of Yharnam revere this creature, but they must have gained audience with the Great One, learning of its true form and crafting idols in its image. The description of the Moon Carol rune supports this theory, stating, "The Great Ones that inhabit the nightmare are sympathetic in spirit, and often answer when called upon." What's more, Amygdala has a very real presence in Yharnam as well. While trying to retrieve the hunter set in Cathedral Ward, you might witness this. Creepy, right? Once the hunter has obtained 40 insight or has defeated Rom and dispelled the illusions of Yharnam, he is able to see the world for what it truly is, and you can see what really lurks above Cathedral Ward. In Yahar Ghul, there are several more of these creatures very similar in appearance to the Amygdala lurking within the Nightmare Frontier, and the community has taken to referring to them as lesser Amygdalas. For the most part, these creatures are unmoving and passive, though some, if the player comes too close, will snatch them up and frenzy them before teleporting them away. One in particular in Yahar Ghul is more aggressive than the others, with dozens of eyes bulging out from its head. When the hunter nears its perch, it will unleash a laser from its eyes that carves up the stairs, a delayed explosion following along behind it, dealing massive damage if it connects. There is no way to harm them though, and for the most part, there's not much more of a purpose they serve than an obstacle. Until you meet a certain character.
Oh, a hunter of beasts, are you? Glory be. You know not the value you possess. But more's the pity. The hours of the night are many, and the beasts more than I can count. A veritable hunt unending. Not even death offers solace, and the blood imbibes you. A most frightful fate. Oh my. But I'm willing to do you a kindness. Step lightly round to the right of the great cathedral and seek an ancient, shrouded church. The gift of the Godhead will grant you strength. Yes, I'm unquestionably certain.
This mysterious character grants you the Tonsil Stone, the gift of the Godhead which possesses some gravitational force that prevents its riddance. A Godhead possesses the nature of divinity, and this stone is reminiscent of the literal head of Amygdala, so perhaps this contains some of the power of the god. Bearing this and heading down to the shrouded church outside Yahar Ghul, the hunter is snatched up by a lesser Amygdala, but this time, instead of simply attempting to kill the hunter, a familiar voice is heard.
Oh, Amygdala! Oh, Amygdala! Have mercy on the poor bastard!
The hunter next wakes up in the lecture building, which is adrift in the nightmare realm, where they at last come face to face with the dubious soul who has led them here.
What a joy it is to behold the divine. It must be such a pleasure. You're in my debt, you know. You're nigh on a beast of the field. But here you are, treading a measure with the gods.
Exiting the lecture building, the hunter finds himself in the Nightmare Frontier, at the end of which lurks the Great One itself, Amygdala. It drops down to slay the hunter that has trespassed into its abode, utilizing its many arms to crush him into the ground, its rift-like explosives emitting from the eyes on its hands, explosive lasers emitted from the eyes that bulge on its head, and, when it becomes truly desperate, even its own arms torn off as weapons to extend its reach. Upon slaying the beast and returning to Patches, the hunter can surprise the spider from behind.
Oh, this cannot be. You cannot be. No, you didn't. Lord Amygdala? Oh, how did this come to pass? Now, wait just a moment. Do you think ill of me? Me? Indeed, I should think not. I shared with you a thing most secret. Now you're witness to a miracle, and all the stronger for it. You should appreciate it, if you've a grain of gratitude in you. Yes. Appreciate it. My apologies, but I feel a profound thought occurring on the good grace of a certain god and the way he meted out his love.
Patches, a servant of Amygdala, likely led you to his lord intending for you to be a sacrifice to the god, perhaps hoping to earn favor. Amygdala's counterparts in Yharnam likely serve a similar function, snatching some, such as hunters, from Yharnam, and transporting them to the nightmare frontier, where they may become prey to a great one. Or is sacrifice truly the intention? Patches acts as though he has done you a great service by allowing you to behold the miracle that is Amygdala. And there is one thing we know about all great ones. Every great one loses its child and yearns for a surrogate. Perhaps Patches and the other servants of Amygdala bring people into the nightmare not as sacrifices, but as surrogate children. And perhaps the beasts twisted by the nightmare are others chosen for such a purpose. There are even 2 other hunters found in the nightmare frontier. They team up to attack the hunter upon arriving. Perhaps they too have taken Amygdala as a god, and attempted to protect it. It is only upon crossing into its lair with ill intent does Amygdala attempt to kill you. After all, the Carol rune and the statues of Amygdala seem to suggest that it is not a malevolent being by nature, provided that its servants display piety. What, then, is the purpose of this being? The Great Ones of Bloodborne are heavily inspired by the Great Old Ones of H.P. Lovecraft's writings. In the Lovecraftian mythos, the central theme is how utterly irrelevant humans are in the world haunted by these cosmic horrors that watch over the universe. The Great Ones hold a very similar role, beings of immense power that treat mankind as puppets, a source from which they may gather their surrogate children. The physical design of Amygdala, as well as many of the other Great Ones, also seems inspired by the Lovecraftian creatures. The disturbing mix of vaguely human features, such as the humanoid arms and body shape, juxtaposed with distinctly alien features, such as the veiny, multi-eyed head, sinewy flesh, and enough limbs to spark some arachnophobia, creates an unnerving horror in the same manner of Lovecraft's cosmic horrors. And the tentacles dangling from the faces of the lesser Amygdala call to mind Cthulhu itself. The other important design element of this creature is in its name. Amygdala is a variant of amygdala, a part of the human forebrain. The amygdala is responsible for some emotional reactivity, most notably fear and aggression. Patients with amygdala, you really get in the habit of saying it wrong. Amygdala lesions have been shown to have no fear response upon being exposed to stimuli that would cause a fear response in most people, so it is accepted that the amygdala performs the survival function of responding to stimuli identified as threats by triggering a fear response. Interestingly, people who have nightmares during sleep studies have been shown to have heightened activity in the amygdala, suggesting that it is active in response to even subconscious stimuli. In a sense, the amygdala allows for nightmares to be scary even when we sleep, triggering a physical response. The Japanese name is consistent with this reference, translating to almond. The term amygdala comes from the Latin amygdali, translating to almond or tonsil, reflecting the almond shape of the amygdala, and this too ties into the tonsil stone. The head of Amygdala and the tonsil stone that mimics it both have this shape. Given that Amygdala resides in the nightmare frontier, perhaps this naming convention hints at the domain of Amygdala, fear. But if Amygdala is the god of fear, why then do the people of Yharnam erect statues and worship? The answer to this might be in Yahar Ghul. Notice the number of lesser amygdala. You know what? Forget it. I'm pronouncing it amygdala. That's the way it's supposed to be pronounced. Note the number of lesser amygdala lurking above Yahar Ghul, attacking only when the hunter nears. The great ones that inhabit the nightmare are sympathetic in spirit and often answer when called upon. Amygdala and its servants do not lurk over the people of Yahar Ghul in the cathedral ward for control, but for protection, guarding the entrance to Yahar Ghul and attempting to stop anyone who approaches the School of Mensis. Note the location of the statues. They only appear in Grand Cathedral, the Choir, and Yahar Ghul, places ruled by the Church which seeks to commune with the Old Ones and ascend to their power. The fear is not directed inwards at the worshippers, but outwards at those who seek to defy them, at the non-believers of Yharnam and the hunter who dares to try and slay them. These creatures are not necessarily evil, instead, certainly powerful and rewarding to their pious followers. Nonetheless, Amygdala is a monster, and one who seeks to halt our progress. Now, it's time that it fears us. Let's kill ourselves a god.